Welcome along, and everybody, to the Red Card Radio news episode. We hope to be the one-stop shop, the one place you need to come for news in and relating to the English Premier League and other competitions that English teams are involved with. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy is Brad. He supports Chelsea Football Club. Down below that, Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. And how we doing, boys? What's going on?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Okay, so this is a trend.
This is a trend.
Brad is just...
I'm feeling even better than I was yesterday, actually.
Wow.
Feeling even better.
Even better.
Even better.
Is that even possible?
It is.
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling twice as good.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
good.
Who's here to fight that? So what we have for you guys today on the news. So we got some comments. We got comments from Will and Jimmy that we want to get into, and then we're going to quickly wrap up. We had last week. If you listened to our news episode last week and you're tuning back in because you were enthralled by our riveting Formula One coverage last week, we do have results from the first Grand Prix of the season. And then we're going to talk mostly European football, Champions League, Europa League, that kind of stuff in today's episode. So if you are new, if you've just stumbled across us, if you watched our review episode yesterday and you're like, let me find out what these American buffoons are talking about today, just make it easy on yourself. Hit the subscribe button now. If the algorithm offered us to you, then hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, help us defeat the Google algorithm and get this podcast, whatever you want to call it, to everyone in the world. It would make their life better, and by proxy, your life better as well. If you're on podcasting sites, hit it with a follow, 5-star review if your platform so allows it. All those things really do help us. We really do appreciate all of the support that you guys are giving us. So thank you so much. Let's get into these comments. So I had a less than pleasant thing to say about Stoke City Football Club last week, and the Stoke in general, when we were talking about the FA Cup. And so Will correctly posited that my displeasure with Stoke is revolving around Aaron Ramsey. So Will says, my main recollection of that, in talking about Stoke, is Shawcross's foul on Aaron Ramsey is Sol Campbell's reaction to it. Will is very close. My issue with Stoke City is when Aaron Ramsey returned to Stoke after the injury that he suffered at the hands of, or at the legs of Ryan Shawcross when he shattered his leg, essentially, is that Aaron Ramsey was booed mercilessly by the Stoke fans. And that's pretty messed up. And so I don't like Stoke for that reason.
It's unnecessary at best.
Yes. Yeah.
Or at least I think is what I was going for. At least it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I think so as well. Jimmy had a comment, and I really liked this comment from Jimmy. It's about Howard Webb. And so Howard Webb took over as the head of the Premier League match game officials. The PGMOL, I think, is its acronym. And he said, yeah, Howard Webb comes in October, November. Manchester United starts winning and takes home a cup. Coincidence? I doubt it. Howard Webb stepped away in 2014, and the last Man U title was in 2013 with one trophy, an FA Cup in 2016, and they won a Europa League under Jose. But obviously, English refs don't impact that. Since he retired, Webb comes back into the fold, and United win the first possible cup of the season. Webb was notorious in favoring of United. I don't know how he was ever allowed to be put in this position. I will always think he is trash, and I hope he is removed as quickly as possible. So, Jimmy's bringing the heat for Howard Webb.
I understand this. I understand the sentiment and the respect the craftsmanship of the tinfoil helmet that he is wearing here. Howard Webb doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, though.
No. He just gave Manchester United plenty of time to do it.
It's humorous. Jimmy clearly wrote this comment before the Liverpool United match. Jimmy was prepared for some referee shenanigans in that match. He was prepared mentally for it, obviously, but that didn't come to pass. I mean, what I would say about Howard Webb, well, let me just say this generally about referees. The vast majority of them come from the greater Manchester area, the vast majority of Premier League refs. So that's a little weird. It's pretty strange that London has as many Premier League teams as we do, and there's not a single referee in the top division that's a Premier League match official that is from London. That's a little goofy. So
seems
sus.
pretty fair.
Seems pretty sus.
Yeah. It's got a trick. It's like they got a funny quarter there that they keep flipping and keeps landing on Manchester.
Yeah, I don't know how this. Yeah, it's a little goofy. But yeah, sure. Yeah, let's torches and pitchfork. Let's march on Howard Webb. Let's go for it. I'm here for it. Let's just burn it all down. Sean, you want to fill the people in on this Formula One race in Bahrain and give us an update.
Man, causing him all this pain.
I can sum it up. In about 5 seconds or less.
Okay.
So this is generally speaking broadly. If you are new to the sport or did not watch, it was incredibly boring. You missed absolutely nothing.
Seems pretty fair. Max Verstappen is the winner. He
led the whole race essentially.
I think he did lead the whole race. Other than like
he came in for a pit in like those 3 laps. Yeah.
Once the pit stops were ironed out, once everybody was on equal pit stops, he never trailed. Except for
Lando there. Lando was never on equal pit stops with everybody.
True. So
had a pneumatic. I think it was a pneumatic issue.
Yeah, it was just air.
Yeah, they keep getting air fill.
So Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix. Sergio Perez finishes second, and then Alonso, Aston Martin, finishes third.
First podium in like 170 races or something like that.
For Aston Martin, right?
No, for Fernando.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while, and it was his 99th podium, if I'm not mistaken, either.
That seems right. I think I remember hearing that. Ferrari had a terrible weekend.
Terrible.
Like, okay. So here's a question: who had a worse weekend, Ferrari or McLaren?
McLaren.
It's
McLaren by far.
Yeah,
Yeah, you retire Piastri that early, and then Lando can't keep on the track for more than 10 laps at a time.
Yeah. I generally I agree with you, obviously, because Ferrari picked up points. But I think McLaren probably expected to pick up points as well. Leclerc has had all sorts of issues this weekend. He's now down a power unit and like a battery or something like that. Like after he swapped those parts out the night before the race after qualifying, the parts that he swapped to gave out in his car midway through the race, and they're unrecoverable. So he is going to have a grid penalty coming up soon. I'm sure after his next set of parts fail on him, or his original parts fail on him. It's not the way that Ferrari wanted to get started. I think
Aston Martin looked really good. Fernando Alonso with sneaking into the pole, blowing by Mercedes. Wow.
Lance Stroll also raced very well.
Sixth with a hand with one hand essentially.
Yeah.
Or almost one hand.
I think other than Red Bull, the team that's most happy with the weekend is Aston Martin.
Yes.
I think the team that's most frustrated outside of Ferrari and outside of McLaren is probably Mercedes, because Mercedes, if you look at Aston Martin is running Mercedes engine. They're running their rear suspension system, and Aston Martin blew Mercedes out of the water. They just couldn't keep up. So I think the grand takeaway for the season, unfortunately, like we're one race in and it doesn't look like anyone has anything capable of catching Red Bull. Like there's no shot, like no chance.
Verstappen might be 23-0.
I'm not willing to say that because he could get spun out or something, or you could see some shenanigans in Monaco where he just can't get past people. But yeah, this is it's not looking good for the field. I think the most interesting things are going to be battles for like second and third. Like
The good news for Mercedes is that it is not the first year on the new gen like it was last year. So they can, within reason, they have to do some tweaks, but they can go back to last year's if they want to revert.
Yeah.
To last year's package. The kind of known enemy situation. That's clearly not ideal and not something they can do overnight because you need to make changes to that setup as well. But last year that would not have been possible because it's a completely new package.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting to see if Mercedes can figure anything out. I don't have a lot of hope. So
they did it last year.
yeah, well they made tweaks towards
Sure.
the end, but they were.
Did
They
they really challenge?
They won a race. They went 1-2 in a race. So there's that. There's also a lot to do with strategy, and if you get pit strategies correct, and different racetracks
might be better suited for it.
Probably not Saudi Arabia, because I think Saudi Arabia has a lot of straights, a lot of straightaways coming up in Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks' time. So
yeah,
that's just going to be Red Bull just zooming down the course. I think someone needs to check those bulls to see if they're organic. I think that there's a little bit of juicing going on in this situation. Those bulls are.
I think they just got it right.
They've been getting it right for like 3 years now, so I don't think we can say they just got it right. I think they're just a really, really good auto racing team, and they've got really good drivers, they've got really good engineers, and a really fast car. So we'll see. We'll see if George Russell's
apparently they both think that my prediction was correct on the Sheets of Integrity last week.
I mean, yeah, I obviously picked with my heart, and having not watched any testing or obviously it wouldn't have changed my prediction.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think Lando's going to have a better race in Saudi Arabia, Sean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about our boy Logan Sargent? Didn't he finish like
13th,
12th? Yeah, something.
Yeah,
it's pretty decent. Maybe he can get in the points.
Oh,
finishing the race is important.
True. Not everyone does that.
Not everyone does that. He was 12th, by the way.
I thought it was 12th.
Oh, my bad.
I thought it was 12th, and Brad said it so confidently that I just
let him have
it.
I was up by 1.
And Williams with something I don't believe they did last year. They scored a point.
Yes.
No, they did score a point last year. Latifi got 2 points, and the sub for Latifi scored 2 points. So they at least have those 4.
Was it DeVries?
I think it was DeVries.
Yes, it was.
Guys.
Yeah. Not a great day for Alpha Tower either.
Is that?
I think Gasly had fastest lap too.
No, Zhao. Zhao had fastest.
Gasly may have had fastest lap, but he's in an Alpine now.
I know he's in Alpine now. It's his first time not being in the Red Bull organization, I think.
Yep. Right. So there we go. There's a blow tie. We'll talk to you again in the mid-season break.
I think Saudi Arabia's in 2 weeks' time before they fly across the world to Australia. So I was talking with a buddy today about the schedule, the Formula One schedule coming up, and it's all over the place. So, all right. So European football. So we got the Champions League, the Europa League. There is a Europa Conference League in here to be talked about, but we are not going to talk about it because it's the Mickey Mouse Cup. It's the Euro. It's the League Cup, if you will, of European.
Mickiest of Mickey Mouse Cups.
Yeah. Okay, so Champions League. As of recording, when we are recording this match, or this episode, excuse me, you guys have received it on Thursday, but we recorded it not on Thursday. So we only have results from the Tuesday matches so far in the Champions League. So Chelsea have defeated Borussia Dortmund 2-0 from the bridge. That means they are advancing 2-1 aggregate winners. Benfica scored 1,000 goals today, and so they beat Bruges like 7-0 on aggregate, I think. So it's kind of uninteresting. But so Brad, you are doubly
Let's
excited.
go. I'm so excited. That's 2 goals. Our first time scoring 2 goals in 2023. We're getting the ball rolling. This is 2 wins in a row.
I mean, to be fair, to score the second goal, you guys had to be gifted a penalty. So
to be fair, there should have been a red card in the 8th minute of the game, so it evens out. We got 2 penalties. We should have had 2 penalties.
We got 2 penalties. We should have had. Interesting.
So
Not
Kai
sure.
Havertz loves a post. Like, he's had to hit the post like 5 times. Even on the goal that was called for offsides of Raheem Sterling, he hit the post when it went in. Like, he hit the top crossbar. Like, that man just keeps playing goalpost game.
I think he had a shot go off the post that like hit the post and then went across the face of goal and went out for a goal kick, I think, or something like that.
The same post, the right post.
Yeah.
So if you're a goalie and you're playing Chelsea, because Kai Havertz is our penalty kicker now, dive right. Or don't move because it's going to hit off the post.
Or don't move because he's going to stop his entire run up to the ball.
What do you mean? It's the same as a hop. And you just found you posted the rules in our Discord that says it was legal. So
no. So I posted a rule that the law it's law 14 is about the penalty kick, and it says you're allowed to feint your run up, but not feint a kick. That sounds interpretive to me. Like, that sounds subjective, that you can have some interpretation on what a feint of a kick is versus a feint of a run up. The dude, traditionally speaking, in a penalty, you have to have a fluid motion through the ball. That's traditional. Maybe it's been changed. I'm not sure when the law was changed. If what I'm thinking is actually changed, or it's still the same thought process. But the man stopped. The man stopped running. He took 2 steps, stopped, and then continued.
If you hopped, it's the same pause.
No. The Jorginho hop, and the only reason you talk about a hop is because you've been so, I don't know, like this whole Jorginho hop thing that he used to do for you guys. That I guess he still does, but he doesn't do it for Arsenal because he's never taking a penalty for Arsenal, unless it's in like a cup final.
Watch him be the new penalty taker now.
No, I think he's been on the pitch and Saka's taken a penalty. Saka's our penalty taker at the moment, which makes sense. I can understand why. So essentially, they got a penalty on a handball, which is a good call. It was a handball.
VAR did its job.
Yeah, if maybe we could teach Premier League match officials what a handball is, we could have some actual handball penalties adjudicated in the Premier League. But so it was well done. Kai Havertz takes the first one. He does his whole little like run up, stop, run up again, kick the ball, kicks it off the post, and they adjudged the Dortmund player to be encroaching, which I think technically he was. Like if you look at the picture, when Kai Havertz strikes the ball, he's a step inside the circle.
He's more than a step inside the circle. He's like 4 steps inside the circle. He's moving.
Yes, but Kai Havertz stops in the middle of his run up. How are these players supposed to react when the penalty taker stops his run up? Like,
bro, you gotta wait till the ball's hit, just like a free throw.
Okay,
it's not my fault.
Absurd. Absurd. Kai Havertz is materially responsible for the encroachment. Chelsea players were encroaching before Havertz was. Before the
so what you're saying is like quarterbacks can't do false snaps. Draw somebody off sides.
This is an entirely different situation.
How? He did a feint like that you're allowed to do on a run. He did a feint that you're allowed to do. You've already said he's allowed on a run up. He's allowed to do a feint. And the player jumped the line. It's not Havertz's fault.
I said it's subjective. I think if you roll the tape back 45 seconds, I said that it's subjective.
Okay. Which in this the ref subjectively decided that it was during the run up.
I guess so. I mean, sure.
So
Chelsea are incredibly lucky to get that second penalty, in my opinion.
Dortmund's incredibly lucky that this game wasn't like 5-0 at halftime.
Maybe.
Like we just rattled off 3 times he hit the post. Havertz hit the post.
Well, you can't count the offside one because that doesn't exist essentially because Sterling was offside, right?
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
So like that doesn't did they ever show lines for that one?
Yes,
Okay.
they did both.
They showed like the semi-automated.
He was offside on both. One where he was like his like shoulder, knee, and foot were over, but like because they were in a straight line, not because like he was like egregiously over. And then one was like the tip of his boot.
Oof.
Yeah, that one was harsh, but like still okay, cool. That's what it's called. Fine. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I mean,
this is the most effort where Chelsea result, right? Like we're gonna win the Champions League. Like it's written in the stars now.
I'm happy that you're happy, Brad, but there is 0 chance that this Chelsea team is winning the Champions League.
But wait, I have 2 trivias, but my first one is here. All right, so there's been only 2 English managers to have qualified from a Champions League knockout tie in the Champions League era. One of them is Graham Potter. Who is the second one?
English manager. Kenny Dalglish, maybe?
Nope. Do you guys want a hint?
Sure.
Sean, you got a guess here before I give you the hint?
Steve Bruce.
That's funny. No, it actually is a Tottenham manager. He was managing Tottenham at the time he got this win.
Roy Hodgson.
Nope.
I have no choice. I have no chance.
And Harry Redknapp.
There you go. Harry Potter. Harry Potter has won the 2 games for the knockout tie. Harry Redknapp.
Interesting.
Back in 2010. I thought that was an interesting little fact. And Harry Potter's a dope book series.
How do you feel about this Spurs tie? Everything's to play for in the Spurs match, Sean. You guys got Milan. You got to win by 2 goals.
At home, you got to get the result. Like,
I think Spurs should feel pretty confident in this one. Milan, I think, are a better team than Dortmund are. If I was to power rank them, and Milan has a lot of really what, Brad?
Dortmund have won 11 of their past 12 games.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I believe that if I was comparing, and Jimmy's probably going to push back on me on this.
I'm going to agree with Jimmy on this one. I think you're wrong.
Okay, that's cool. But I think Milan are a very good team.
I don't disagree with that. Don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I would say that the Bundesliga is a stronger league than Serie A, and I know Sean agrees with me there. And Dortmund is tied for the top with Bayern. I mean, goal differential aside.
I mean, I'm not sure I'm willing to concede that point. Napoli are insanely good this year. Inter are strong. Milan are strong. Roma are strong. Juventus are not as strong as they have been in the past. I don't know. You could probably
Europe. Holy smokes!
What?
They're back up to 7th. Juventus is back up to 7th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Add 15 more points to their point total. I think they'd be second, right?
Be tied.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they would be second on goal differential. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
wow. So okay, yeah. Your opinion is just kind of got to get the result. Just got to do it.
Yep.
Do we think there's any hope for Liverpool against Madrid?
If they show up like they did against United,
I think Madrid's a different beast than United.
I don't think Madrid lets them.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I don't think Madrid lets them. I think Madrid keeps the lead. Liverpool probably score 1 or 2 goals, but Madrid handle this just like they're supposed to.
I think I could see a world where Liverpool win the match but go out.
Yes.
Wouldn't be the first time that Liverpool came back from an insane second leg against a La Liga team, though, and very recent memory.
Yeah, they did.
True, but that was at home.
Yeah.
It was at Anfield.
Different story having to go to the Santiago Bernabeu.
The one club that can do that.
Oh
But
yeah.
we still won, and we won and still got kicked out.
You know who the first English team was to win at the Santiago Bernabeu?
I don't know. I don't know my history.
Okay. Well, maybe you should Google it, and you'll find out. City Leipzig is 1-1 going into this tie. City are gonna progress, right?
Yes.
They should.
It's at the Etihad. They're home. They're playing
They should.
exceptionally well. Do you think there's a world where they don't progress, Brad?
This is Pep. Like Pep might overthink this. Like we always have to calculate that into this, where he just decides that nah, bump it. We're just gonna throw out X, Y, Z, and Rodri's not gonna play, and Diaz isn't gonna play, and I'm gonna bench Haaland because like that's gonna give me the best chance, and then it doesn't.
City play away to Palace in the Premier League this upcoming weekend. I think that they play their absolute strongest team against Leipzig for 60 minutes and just try and blitz them. And if after 60 minutes they need more goals, they bring on Julian Alvarez, they bring on Jack Grealish. I think it's going to be, maybe Jack Grealish starts, I don't know. But Haaland's going to start, Kevin De Bruyne is going to start, Rodri's going to play, Gundogan's going to play. I think this is their best 11 against Leipzig. And I think that they try and blow them out of the water in the first half and then bring the Cole Palmers or whatever his name is on in the second half. The guy I drafted. In the Europa League, you got Manchester United are hosting Real Betis on Thursday, and Arsenal are away to Sporting in Portugal. So, I don't know. I think I'm pretty excited about this tie for Arsenal. I think Sporting are a good team. It's probably one of the worst teams we could have drawn in the Europa League round of 16. Obviously, like we avoided Juventus, so that's nice. We avoided obviously couldn't draw United, but like there were some other big teams in the draw that we avoided. But I will be interested to see the team that Arteta trots out for this. We have Fulham on Sunday, so that's a difficult game. I wonder if Arteta prioritizes the Premier League a little bit more. Now, we did see Arteta play a pretty changed side against Bournemouth in the first half against Bournemouth, so I guess it's possible that he was saving a stronger side for Sporting. I'll also be interested to see if Ramsdale or Turner plays, because Turner has been our Europa League keeper, our cup keeper, and Ramsdale has been in the league. So I'll be intrigued to see if Turner plays. I think Turner gets the start. I think Matt Turner gets the start. But this could be...
Why not? Hasn't he gotten all the starts, by the way?
Not in the Europa League, no. He's gotten a good number of them. I think he missed match day 6 with a injury, maybe match day 5 as well in the group stage. I don't remember. But I know Ramsdale got his first European appearance in the group stage. But I think I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Arsenal, I would love to see Arsenal win the Europa League. I'd rather see Arsenal win the Premier League. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the Premier League.
That was going to be my question, so.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Premier League, 100%. But I don't see why we can't do the double. Just go do it. Just do it. Just win them both. Screw it. Yeah, and then I think West Ham is kicking around in the Conference League or something. Maybe West Ham.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe someone else. I don't know.
Maybe Brighton. I don't know.
It's not Brighton. I think it's West Ham, but I could be wrong. Something's going on there. If you're interested in it, Google it, because I'm not interested in it, so I didn't Google it.
Yeah, we didn't want to talk about that. Sorry.
I'm not sorry. Brad, what's your second trivia question for us?
Well, first a little news. I know the championship is normally Sean's gimmick, but Watford have fired their manager again.
You should have asked that in a different way. You should have said, what championship team fired another manager?
It's not my trivia.
I know it's not.
Mr. Slaven Bilic has been fired again.
By Watford.
By Watford. Who knew? So going back to May 2017. So 5 years, 6 years. They have had 12 managers.
Yep.
How many of them can you guys name? And just to be fair, 5 of them have managed or are managing other clubs in the Premier League right now.
That's an absurd question.
This one's probably for the see Joel or maybe Jimmy. I gave you Slaven Bilic, so you have to figure out how many of the other 11 can you get.
I got one.
James, do you think you can get more than one here?
Well, I think the Leeds manager is one of them. The current Leeds manager is one of them.
Do you have a?
I don't know who the Southampton manager is off the top of my head, so maybe the Southampton manager. You said 5 of them are in the Premier League?
Have coached or are coaching.
That's different. I thought you said 5 are currently coaching.
No, have coached or are coaching.
I have no idea. I think the Leeds guy is one of them.
I will give you that one. You are correct.
Yeah.
Sean, was that yours, or did you have a different one?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Doesn't Roy Hodgson manage them? And
he has.
Probably. I don't know if Steve Bruce has, but maybe a Steve Bruce.
Nope. Not during this time. I don't know because they still fired managers before then.
I don't know. You'll have to run the list. Run the list first.
All right. So, Fulham's manager, Mr. Marco Silva, was May 2017. Got until January 2018, so he got half a Premier League season. Javi Garcia. Wow, I messed that name up terribly. Y'all can roast me in the comments for that one. Got a year and 9 months because he took Watford to the final of the FA Cup. That was their final. That was the year they were in the final. Kike Sanchez Flores. Hayden Mullins was the caretaker. Nigel Pearson. Hayden Mullins was then the caretaker again for 2 games. Vladimir Ivic. Zisco Munoz. I got them promoted to the Premier League after starting in December 2020, but was fired by October 2021.
Yep, I think I remember that.
And then here's the one I thought you guys would get. Claudio Ranieri.
Oh, that's
from
right.
October to January.
I forgot about Ranieri.
For 3 months.
Yep.
And then Roy Hodgson led them to relegation.
Yep.
Great job there.
I think that was his first relegation, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was Roy Hodgson's first time being relegated.
Probably. I don't know. Then Rob Edwards lasted from May 2022 to September. And then Slaven Bilic lasted from September 2022 to March 2023. He had 25 games in charge.
And this is the second time Slaven Bilic has been the Watford manager, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the first time. Oh, well, first time in these 12 years. I don't know. That's the... Sean Dyche managed them too? Wow. Brendan Rodgers? Man, I should have gone higher up. There's some good names in here. I'm just kidding. I don't understand how they keep firing managers like this. Chris Wilder is now taking over, by the way, for those that care. Yes. Who he is, I have no idea. But Christopher John Wilder is taking over.
Chris Wilder just got fired.
Middlesbrough?
No.
That's what I just looked up. Clicked on his name.
He's been a Premier League.
Oh, Sheffield.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Yep. Good job, James. You got the dub on that one with 2.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know how I get the dub there, but I will own it proudly. I'm sure Joel got like 7.
Probably.
I'm sure Joel got like 7 or 8.
He might have hit double digits.
Yeah, maybe. He just knows things. The man is an encyclopedia. All right.
Footy knowledge.
That's all we got for you guys in the news. Definitely check back tomorrow. We've got a preview of match day 27, match week 27. And so if you're still checking us out, hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, drop a comment, join our Discord. If you're on one of the podcast sites, give it a 5-star review, hit it with a follow. And we will check back with you guys tomorrow for the preview of match week 27. Have a good one.